Randy,
Yes, sir.
If it really gets worse and gets harder, and I really start to suffer a lot, can I rely on you to bring me some water and beer? Because I'm telling you, it's miserably hot out here. Blast furnace hot, man.
Blast furnace hot. Hats off to a man named Bill Clifford from my early days in radio. He used to call it blast furnace hot. And I'll tell you what, man, we have had some scorchers here in the last few days, and it's not going to end necessarily anytime soon, especially today. So anyway, drink a lot, whether it's water or whatever else floats your boat, and we'll carry on. So happy Monday, folks. Got a great show lined up for Wednesday. We're going to talk about that just a little bit and also share a tip and a story and a few other little tidbits on this date in history. But let me first introduce myself briefly, and I'll turn it back to Teddy. Randy Wooden with Goodwill Industries, Northwest North Carolina. I'm the director for our professional center. Yeah, Goodwill has a professional center located here in Winston. All services are free. You can find me on LinkedIn, and I've got clients all over the country, mostly here in the Triad, but I'm happy to help you. You might think if you read the papers and watch the news, that job hunting is a piece of cake these days. Everybody's hiring. And while a lot of that is happening, at the lower end of the wage scale, not at the professional level. There are openings out there if you want to work with the public. But for a lot of my clients, they're still finding issues, still having some challenges. And so we try to help them with that and help them get to where they want to go. But enough about that. Enough about me. Teddy?
Yeah. So those who've never
talk about you.
For those who've never met me, I'm a LinkedIn strategist. I do seminars and one-on-one coaching and corporate training programs. I do public groups. I actually have a public session that kicks off, I think it's this Wednesday at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Okay.
All teaching business professionals and anybody who wants to use LinkedIn, how to use it appropriately, how to get the greatest value of it. I love doing that. I'm also a Google workplace strategist. I love teaching that as well. But every week, Randy and I get together a couple different times, and sometimes we share with you some really cool stuff. Sometimes we share with you some really wild stuff, but always striving to make it something of interest and useful. So, so Randy, did you do the work you were supposed to do?
I always do. Every week I look at this date and look at births, deaths, and events and so forth. And of course, last week we had a futurist on and kind of looking at projecting based on evidence that's available. What are some trends that are likely to play out over time? Now we're going to take a look back in the rearview mirror and see on this date in history. Got a little trivia for you, my friend.
Okay.
A birth in, I'm not even sure what year it was. How's that?
Okay.
But they were born in this date. And I guess it was in 1920. This person is named Rosalind Franklin. And so she's famous for something, although not that famous because we don't know who the heck she is. But she was a chemist and co-discoverer of the structure of DNA. DNA, yeah.
She figured out who we are?
Yeah. She was a co-discoverer, was a deoxyribonucleic acid or something. I used to know that in high school. RNA and DNA, but I digress. Walter Payton, great football star for the Chicago Bears. The Bears passed away much too early, but he was born on this date, 1954. And also the Golden Girls, Estelle Getty, born on this date in 1923. Deaths. Here's a trivia for you.
Okay.
This fellow died 1958. His name is Harry Warner, Warner. Any ideas?
Well, I'll tell you, if he died in 58, I replaced him because I was born in 58.
Okay.
So Harry Warner, no idea. I mean,
that's all, folks.
Yeah. Is that him?
Warner Brothers?
Oh,
yeah, Warner
really?
Brothers.
Okay.
I guess he had a brother. I guess Harry had a brother, but hence the Warner Brothers. Ben Hogan, golfer, died on this date, 1997, and Olivia de Havilland. That I remember the name, Gone with the Wind and all. She died in 2020. You know what? She was 104 years old.
Oh, Lordy. Was she still jogging or was she riding around in a scooter?
You know, now you say that reminds me of the Wicked Witch of the West on the bicycle on the Wizard of Oz. You know, events on this date. Yeah, we live in North Carolina. On this date in 1729, North Carolina became a royal colony on this date. So, yeah, royal colony. On this date, here's another trivia for you. 1814, a fellow named George Stephenson. He's from England. He did something. He developed the first steam locomotive, and that was huge by the time, because to get product from point A to point B, trains were huge.
Yeah.
Also on this date, 1854, Walter Hunt. He patented some. Who's Walter Hunt? He's not the ketchup guy.
No,
not that guy.
Not the guy
He's
over
not the
Breaking
football,
Bad.
not Lamar Hunt. Nope, not that guy. He, I don't even know that these exist anymore. I mean, they'd be it's kind of sketch to me. But anyway, he patented the paper shirt collar. And it showed a painting or a picture of the guy where he had his shirt and this white stuff sticking up like this. And I guess it was paper.
Does J.C. Penney still sell those?
Get a paper cut on your neck. I have no idea. But not to be outdone. But yeah, he did. He outdid himself. And not on this date, though. But in 1849, the dude he patented the safety pin. We've used those, with diapers and other.
To clip on the paper napkin to your neck.
You got to do it somehow. And just to show how brilliant the guy was, he sold the rights to it for $400.
Oh, Lordy. That may have been a mistake.
$400. His heirs have to just be going, come on, man. But anyway, that's enough about that fellow. So let's move on. A story.
Okay.
Just real quick. And these things happened to all of us at some point if we live long enough. There are people that want to steal your information. They just apparently have nothing better to do but to try to hack into accounts and try to mess with you. And I actually ran into a little bit of that. Fortunately, not too seriously, but you just need to be aware. And I think that's something you're going to talk about maybe with your tip about how to avoid some things and whatever. But the point being, just they say in hockey and in football, keep your head on a swivel, because there's always somebody that's going to look to blindside you and take you out of action. And whether it's a business with malware and phishing and what do they do when they the ransom, was it ransomware?
Ransomware.
Yeah. And we get that a lot at Goodwill, where we get messages from our IT folk to say, hey, when in doubt, don't click this thing.
Yeah.
And yet it happens, not necessarily with Goodwill, but with companies. And you just see this and you're like, man, the world it's a big place, and it's full of lowlifes. I think it's one of the things we can all agree on. Left, right, center, doesn't matter where you are in a political spectrum. Nobody likes scammers.
Yeah.
Nobody does. So just be on the lookout for that.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Yep.
I read an article recently that with some of the challenges going on with cryptocurrency, the scammers are concerned about how they would be able to do ransomware, because that is their big barrier for being detected. It's because nobody knows who owns a cryptocurrency account. And so I hate cryptocurrency suffering in that world, but I'm glad that the ransomware dudes are on edge about what they're going to do. But identity theft, I hate it, and scammers, I hate it. Hey, Randy, here, let's pivot to a more fun story.
Yeah.
Tomato sandwiches.
Ooh.
Now, I get it. There's a lot of people out there who don't like tomatoes, and a lot of people out there who are not big fans of multi-grain bread and Colby cheese and a smattering of mayonnaise, 3 or 4 slices of tomato laid out on that sandwich, put a little bit of sea salt and a little bit of pepper. Put that piece of bread on top of it. Can you taste it? Can you see it? Cut that piece in half, put it on a paper
plate. Mouth is watering.
Go outside with an ice cold beverage and sit on the patio. This is summer for me. Yeah. Tomato sandwiches. I have in my little palatial estates, I have room for 2 nearly 4 foot tall tomato plants. And I'm not going to tell you where they are, because I don't want you hunting them down. And all right, the guard's going to outside the gate's going to keep you from getting them anyway. But I got fresh tomatoes coming. They're probably about 2 weeks away. And that is summer for me. So my story is, what's summer to you? Think about that for yourself. and try to grasp what summer is for you and live it every day you can. There's my story, buddy.
Yeah, I love those tomatoes and corn on the cob and a nice little cheeseburger, slab of cheese on it and all that. Yeah. Oh, that's all good. Great guest coming up, by the way, on Wednesday. Jason Butler joins us. And he's going to talk about a number of topics. It's all tied around a sense of belonging. Mm-hmm. And we talk about employee engagement a lot, and with turnover being what it is and attracting folks. He's going to talk about what businesses and leaders can do to really foster an atmosphere of belonging and some tips to help create that atmosphere, how to help promote that so that companies can become known for that. And really, again, this helps to impact your bottom line because it helps with retention, just a whole host of things. But great guy. We're going to have a good time. That'll be coming up on the 27th at 11:55. Hey, I've got a tip for you.
All right, man, let's hear it.
Write a column in the Sunday paper, Winston-Salem Journal, every other Sunday. This one ran on the 17th. I still have my wall calendar, Teddy. It's right here, right there.
What is that?
It's on the 7th.
My grandmother used to have those.
Yeah, well, here it is. This is one of two that I have, and I have dates, and I've got all kinds of stuff written on it. See? Yeah. So that's a good thing. Keeps me straight. But on the 17th, I had an article that said, hit the putt. You're not a golfer, I know that, but for anybody who is a golfer and you've had to play golf with or have to be behind a group ahead of you, where the guy will line up the putt for 30 seconds or a minute or two, and he gets on his knees and eyes it up and walks around, and then he runs it 30 feet past the hole. Yeah. Or the guy on the tee box, he's up there and, he's testing the wind and he's wiggling his club and he's stretching, he's pulling his pants up and he's tugging on his hat. And then he hits it 10 yards out of the tee box. Right? And you're just like, oh, man, hit the putt is the name of the topic. And if you don't golf, I'll tell you what, if you don't golf, think about this. How many times have you and your boss tried to figure out where you want to go to eat? Mm-hmm. Or you're at a restaurant and you got a menu and you're like, oh, I don't know what I want. It all looks good. Or you sit there at night and you go, okay, what movie do you want to watch? Yeah. Well, I don't know. What one do you want to watch? Yeah. And you spend half an hour trying to figure out what movie to watch. And now you're tired.
And you don't move forward.
No, you don't. And that's the idea is make a decision. If you, with a resume or a job hunt, you'll never get it perfect. It will never be perfect. Do the best you can. And just like in golf, if you hit the putt and you miss it, hit it again. Yeah. Hit it again. Yep. Don't be afraid. What is it called? Analysis paralysis. Don't be afraid to make decisions, even though it may not end up the way you'd hoped. You're moving forward.
Yeah, gotcha.
So do the best you can. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here's my tip, buddy.
Yeah.
Be more transparent and less fake. Look, the world is full of all these people out there who are, they're messaging you, they're emailing you, they're sending you Facebook friend requests, they're sending you LinkedIn connect requests, you name it. They're coming at you from every which way. And you're looking at them as everyone else is. You're going, oh, these are fake. All they want is my wallet. All they want to do is cheat me. So how do we combat that? If we're the ones sending out the messages, we're the ones sending out the invites, we are forced to be less fake and more transparent. And it really is, it's forcing us to be more deliberate in our messaging. It's forcing us to be more personal and real. And if you're not putting energy and time into being more personable, more real, more transparent, then it's going to become more and more difficult for you to achieve your goals through messaging and email, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So more transparent, less fake. There we go, buddy.
Yeah, that makes sense. And back in the day when we didn't have social media and all of the electronic communication where you knock on a door and they would see you and you still had to have your guard up.
Yeah.
But now you can get all kinds of input in your inbox from people who may not even exist. It could just be a bot. You don't know. And there's a lot out there. So again, buyer beware. And in this case, I don't care if you're buying or anything, just beware.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll tee it up on Wednesday with Jason Butler. I hope you can join us 11:55 a.m. Eastern time. And we'll have another show coming your way.
All right, buddy.
have a
I'll
great-
tap you later on, man.
All right.
Take
Have a
care.
good one.
All
See
right,
you.
bye.